Hey friends, how are you all doing? Today we're jumping into a story where the lines between time and reality just shatter, and one tiny little mistake, the death of a single butterfly, can flip the entire future upside down. Just think about it for a second. If one careless step you took today could change the fate of billions of people thousands of years from now, would you take that risk? Keep that question in your head, and let's dive into the terrifying, thrilling adventure of Thomas Cardwave's life. It's a city in the far future where tech is so advanced that people don't see time as some mystery anymore. They use it. Glass skyscrapers that kiss the sky, self-driving everything, and humans holding power that we used to only compare to gods. Technology has gone so far that people actually invented a time machine, and now it's used in all kinds of fields, especially entertainment. Right in the middle of this city stands a controversial but super popular company. They use time machines to take people into the past, not just to look around, to hunt. And this hunting isn't some casual fun. It's this super precise, super strict time safari run under tight scientific rules where mistakes don't get forgiven, not even once. This is where Thomas Cardwave lives. From the outside, his life looks perfect. Job, money, modern lifestyle, everything's there. But inside, he feels like he's trapped in an invisible prison. Same routine every day, same work, same faces. All of it has made his life feel boring and drained. And from that boredom grows this intense craving to do something different, something that'll make him feel alive again. Finally, he decides he's going billions of years back and hunting the biggest animal in history, a dinosaur. And that craving is what brings him to the door of that mysterious time safari company. The second he walks in, he realizes they don't just hand out chances to anyone. He has to go through a bunch of tough tests: physical endurance, mental stability. Can he control his fear? They check everything. Like they want to be 100% sure this guy won't make some unexpected mistake in the past. After passing a lot of stages, Thomas finally gets his chance. But with that chance comes some terrifyingly strict rules. They tell him there'll be a floating path hovering just above the ground, and he can't step off it, not even a hair's width. Touching anything on the ground is forbidden because every single particle of the past is tied to the future. They also tell him he can only kill one specific dinosaur at one specific moment, only when the guide says so. Not before, not after. They explain these rules again in detail right before he gets into the time machine. Thomas and a small team are given an experienced guide whose job isn't just to lead, but to make sure every single moment that nobody breaks the rules. Then the strange journey begins. Inside a machine full of light, vibrations, and some unknown energy swirling around them, they slowly slip away from the present, backward, further back, until they reach Earth billions of years ago. When the door opens, the scene in front of them is like a beautiful living nightmare. Massive trees cover the sky. The air is filled with weird sounds, unfamiliar creatures moving on the ground. Everything is terrifying and mesmerizing at the same time. They all stand on that floating path like they're hanging somewhere between real and imaginary. The guide keeps them alert, watching every step, because there's zero room for error here. Right then, a massive roar echoes from the distance. A T-REX is nearby. That roar is so powerful, the air shakes, and it sends a jolt straight through your chest. Thomas, who'd been holding himself together till now, suddenly gets scared. For just a split second, he loses his balance, and in that tiny mistake, his foot slips a little and goes off the floating path. He pulls himself back super fast, like nothing happened. To everyone else, it doesn't seem like a big deal, just a tiny, harmless slip. After that, everything goes according to plan. On the guide's command, they kill the dinosaur at the exact moment, and the mission is declared a success. Thomas even starts thinking maybe he was scared for nothing, maybe nothing went wrong. But the ripple he unknowingly created deep in time, nobody sees it yet. On the way back, they're feeling pretty victorious. If you slow down that return moment, you realize the change didn't hit all at once. It crept in silently, layer by layer, making its presence known. The time machine door opens, and the first thing that feels off is the air. A little heavier, a little dry, like you have to try harder with each breath. Thomas figures maybe it's just pressure change from the machine. But within seconds, it's clear this isn't temporary. This is what Earth's air is like now. Step outside and you see it. People around look weirdly tired, and lots of them are wearing these clear mask things with light vapor coming out. Pretty quickly it hits you, those are oxygen masks, and without them, breathing normally here is just hard. Thomas slowly looks toward the city. The city he left was full of light and life, non-stop. The city now, kind of faded. The sky's gray, distant buildings look dull, and there's basically zero green. Where trees used to give shade on the sidewalks, now there's just empty concrete platforms, like nothing was ever there. This isn't just an environmental change. It's a deep signal that somewhere, somehow, the flow of time got bent. The rest of the team starts noticing the weirdness too. That victory feeling after a successful hunt? Gone. Instead, there's this heavy unease. Nobody's saying anything, but everyone knows something went horribly wrong. The guide, who was rock solid, confident the whole mission, pauses for the first time. His eyes sweep around, then settle on the team members one by one, like he's trying to figure out who's carrying the mark of that mistake. That's when they look at the city's info screens. Big displays flashing news, and over there's this dictator's face. His speeches, his orders, his harsh rules. Thomas feels a punch in the gut because he clearly remembers this guy lost the election back in his time. Someone more fair and balanced took power instead, and society had balance. But now that memory and reality don't match at all. Like, history literally rewrote itself. At this point, the guide wastes no time and starts investigating. There's no softness in him now, just intense focus, like he knows the answer is tiny, but that tiny thing changed everything. He makes the whole team stand in one spot and starts checking their shoes, clothes, gear, one by one. From the outside, it looks simple, but inside, it's a race against time, because the longer they wait, the more permanent this changed reality becomes. Thomas still hasn't fully grasped what's going on. He's uneasy, sure, but he's trying to convince himself maybe there's some other big reason for all this. But that reassurance doesn't last long. When the guide stops in front of him, there's this sharpness in his eyes that makes Thomas uncomfortable. Slowly, they look at his shoe, and there it is. A bit of dried mud stuck to it, which makes no sense in this clean, controlled environment. That tiny spot flips the whole story. The guide looks at Thomas and asks if he ever stepped off the path. The question's calm, but there's steel underneath it. Thomas can't deny it anymore. He tries to remember, and it comes back. The TREX's roar, the sudden fear in his chest, and that one foot slipping. He admits that, yeah, for a very short moment, his foot touched the ground, but it felt so trivial, he didn't think it mattered. The guide doesn't say anything, just bends down and checks the sole of the shoe closer. In the mud, stuck there, is something tiny. At first you can't tell what it is, but clean it up a bit, and there it is. The remains of a tiny, flattened butterfly. The moment just freezes. Such a small creature, one you'd barely notice, and it's become the epicenter of a massive distortion in time. After that discovery, everything starts clicking into place. The guide slowly explains how this tiny event caused a huge chain reaction. That butterfly was part of pollinating a specific flower. Without it, that flower couldn't reproduce. The tree that was supposed to grow from that flower, never born. And that tree, which in the future would have spread tons of seeds and created a huge forest, its existence just got erased. So one tiny cycle in nature breaks, and slowly it affects the bigger environment. Oxygen balance gets messed up, climate shifts, and Earth slowly loses its natural vitality. But the impact didn't stop at nature. Centuries later, a group of travelers were supposed to depend on the fruit of that missing tree to survive a long journey. With no tree, they're forced to eat some unknown fruit instead, which was poisonous. One of them dies, and that one person was supposed to start a really important family line in the future. With him gone, that family never forms. And some people from that family were going to take part in an election where just a few votes made the difference. Because that family was never born, the dictator's opponent falls short by a few votes, and the dictator wins. So, one butterfly's death, one tree's absence, one person's death, all of it adds up and changes the course of history. The dictator who once lost now wins just by a handful of votes, and that tiny margin shoves the whole planet into a dark reality. Once everything's clear, there's no doubt left in the team. They know they have to fix this, no other way. But right when they try to move toward the time machine, the world around them changes again. Not because of nature this time, but people. Heavy footsteps echo from the distance, and within seconds, armed soldiers surround them. No hesitation in their eyes, no questions, just cold obedience to orders. The circle around them gets tighter. Soldiers' boots hitting the ground in this rhythm, and that rhythm makes breathing feel heavy. Without giving them a chance to say anything, Thomas and his team are surrounded, cold metal of weapons pointed right at them. You didn't need logic to know this world wasn't the old one. Here the rules are different. Here suspicion is the law. They don't tie their hands, but the surveillance is so intense, escape basically isn't an option. Soon they're loaded into an armored vehicle, and the ride starts towards some unknown destination. On the way, they see the real picture of this new world. Both sides of the road lined with ruined buildings, huge propaganda screens flashing that dictator's face, hard stare, cold speech, constant demand for loyalty, fear in people's eyes, caution in their words. Like every word has to be measured. Thomas realizes they're not just victims of a scientific mistake. They've landed inside a system where even asking questions is a crime. Finally, they're taken to this massive concrete structure. Looks lifeless from outside, brutally controlled inside. As soon as they enter, they meet all these familiar faces. And that's when they learn why they're locked up here. This dictator is so oppressive that anyone who voted against him gets hunted down and thrown in this prison one by one. They're forced to do extremely dangerous, brutal labor, slavery for the dictator. If anyone steps out of line even a little, they're immediately strung up. Little lenses in the corners of walls, listening devices in the ceiling. This is a place where you can't even hide the sound of your breath. First few hours pass in total silence. Nobody wants to speak because everyone knows every word has a price. They're made to do brutal labor, suffer insane torture. Some had already given up hope of ever getting free. But slowly, in hushed voices, they start analyzing their situation. The guide is the first to hint that no matter how strict this prison is, it's run by humans, and humans always have gaps somewhere. He'd noticed that at intervals, a door opens and a guard brings food, and that's the only moment they have direct contact with the outside world. The plan doesn't form instantly. It takes several observations, timing checks, and little tests to figure out what's possible when. One day, they deliberately create a small disturbance while getting food. One drops a plate, another pretends to help, and moves a bit forward. In that tiny chaos, the guide notices the guard's attention is super easy to distract. That day, they know the escape door isn't fully closed. Next day, they take the final step where one tiny slip could cost their lives. This time, Thomas takes the lead. When food comes, he acts like he's suddenly having trouble breathing. His acting is so real, the guard steps closer to check. At that moment, another team member pretends to hold him up, and the guide very subtly notes the position of the keyring on the guard's belt. Everything happens fast, calculated. In that split-second window, the guide uses the crowd and the shove excuse to loosen the keyring and hides it so nobody notices. The whole thing goes off so clean, the guard doesn't suspect a thing, and he closes the door and walks off like normal. After the door closes, there's total silence in the room for a few seconds. Like, everyone wants to be sure, did we actually pull it off? Then slowly, carefully, they check the keys. Different key for each lock, and each key is like a door of possibility. But rushing could ruin everything. So they wait for the right time. As night falls, activity inside the prison dies down a bit. Lights dim, guards move around less. That's when they choose to move. Slowly, they unlock the door and push out. The corridor is long, cold, and weirdly echoey. Every footstep feels like the sound travels forever. They move as silently as possible, using the shadows on the walls, following the guide's signals, passing turn after turn. Eventually, they reach a small control room where two guards are sitting half asleep. Facing them head-on is risky, so they look for another way. The guide remembers seeing a side maintenance path on the way in, a narrow, rarely used corridor that leads straight to the back exit. They take that path, practically holding their breath, like they want to erase their own existence. Finally, when they step into the air outside the prison, the danger still isn't totally gone. Patrols are roaming far off, searchlights sweeping the sky. But now they have one goal: get to the time machine by any means. Even after crossing the prison boundary, freedom doesn't feel fully in hand yet. Instead, there's this silent chase hanging around them. The night air is cold, but inside that cold is hidden surveillance. Searchlights sweeping the ground now and then, and somewhere the faint hum of metal machinery. Thomas and his team know no matter how fast they move, every step has to be counted. Because now a mistake doesn't just mean getting caught. It means the last bit of hope for this world goes out. The guide keeps leading the way, like he's got the map of this city carved in his head. He picks alleys and narrow paths that stay hidden from the main roads. Less light there, fewer people, and surveillance is kind of loose too. Now and then they stop, press against a wall when a patrol's shadow shows up in the distance. Even in this hide and seek, a weird rhythm forms. Run, stop, hold breath, move again, like they're literally racing time. Slowly they get past the central part of the city and start reaching the area where the Time Safari Company's building is, but it doesn't match the place they remember at all. That huge building is way more secure now. Tall walls all around, electric fences, tight security at the entrance. It's obvious in this new regime, time tech isn't just entertainment anymore. It's a key tool of power. This is where their biggest obstacle shows up. Getting straight inside is basically impossible. For a while, they just watch from a distance. The guide notices an old service entrance at the back, probably not used regularly anymore, but not completely shut down either. They decide to take that route. It's not easy. Broken walls in places, rusty gates, dark, narrow corridors to cross. But this risk is their only shot. Once inside, they realize the building looks secure from outside, but inside it's a maze. Corridors twist like a labyrinth, and every turn hides some unknown danger. Still, the guide's experience and the team's coordination keep them moving. Slowly, they reach the room where the time machine is kept. A huge metallic structure with dim light glowing around it, like time itself is sleeping there. But right then, another problem hits. To activate the machine, you need a specific code, and only authorized people have it. For a few moments, everyone freezes. Come this far just to get stuck? That would make everything pointless. In this crisis moment, they hear footsteps. Someone's coming this way. Everyone's heart basically stops. After all this struggle, all this distance, do they have to take their last breath now and hand this beautiful world over to that cruel ruler? Slowly, a figure in a white apron steps in front of them. Seeing him, everyone breathes again and sees a ray of hope. Yeah. It's no one else. It's the guide's colleague, Richard McMahon, who works here as a staff scientist. The guide tells him the whole story. Without wasting a second, McMahon uploads that top secret password into the time machine. And just like that, the final door of the time machine opens. Without losing a single moment, everyone gets inside the machine. Outside, alarms are already going off somewhere in the distance. Maybe their presence got detected. But there's no time to look back now. The door shuts, and inside the machine, a huge wave of light, sound, and vibration starts. They're racing again, backward, toward that one moment where everything changed. And this time, they're heading right back to that point where one tiny step drowned the whole Earth in darkness. The machine's light stops, and they're back in that ancient jungle. But this time, everything feels heavier. The air, the sounds, the sights, all the same, yet there's an invisible weight inside. Because they know right here is where their one mistake changed the future. Standing on that floating path, Thomas holds himself firm this time. The guide's instructions sound harsher than before, and the whole team follows the rules in silence. The TREX roars again, shaking the air, but this time Thomas doesn't break. Fear touches him, but he keeps control. At the exact moment, the hunt is completed. Everything happens just like before. But this time, there's no mistake. His foot never leaves the path, not once. And the ground below stays untouched. No butterfly gets crushed. No thread of time snaps. On the way back, there's only one question in their minds. Did we fix it? The door opens and the answer starts coming in. The air is normal, breathing isn't hard anymore. Look outside and you see it. Everything's back to how it was. Green trees, normal people, and that familiar leadership, no sign of dictatorship anywhere. Thomas finally gets it. Playing with time isn't just travel. It's taking responsibility for every tiny decision. And that one wrong step taught him that even a small life can build a huge future. And right here ends our thriller-packed movie story. So tell me how you liked the story. Don't forget to let me know. And stick with us for more mysteries and adventures like this. We'll meet again in a new place with a new tune. You all take care, stay healthy, and thanks so much for staying with us all this time.